Today is Monday, 9/11. Yikes, I just realized that. Anyway, what I'm doing is I'm going to put my hair in puffs, I think, on my way to work to kind of stretch out my twist out, because this is technically a day 2 twist out. And if you know anything about this, then you know the struggle's real. Anyway, welcome to a day in the life of a school-based counselor slash social worker situation. I've explained my role multiple times and it's an interesting one. So that's the best definition that I can give, is that it's a day in the life of a school-based counselor. Anyway, that's what's happening today. We have a huge day ahead. So let me tell you what we have to do today, and then we'll get on with the getting on and we can talk on the way to work. So I have a meeting at one school, which is conveniently on Monday. And so I already go to that school on Monday anyway. So I'm going to plan to see my four students at that school, then go to the meeting. Then I have another meeting for a kid who's not on my caseload. And so given the nature of my day, I'm just going to have to skip that meeting because, first of all, it's happening at the same time. Well, it would maybe run into another meeting for a kid who is on my caseload. So I'm just going to have to skip that one, because it's not mandatory that I'm there. Then I'm going to do lunch. And then I have a meeting at another school, at the high school. And then I have another meeting at an elementary school. And then I also see a student there every Monday. So it so happens that I can go to her meeting and see her, or see her, then go to her meeting. And then I have another meeting at another school that I actually also typically try to go to on Mondays as well. And it's the meetings that is kind of making this sound chaotic, but otherwise it's just me trying to see for 6 kids at 3 different schools on any other Monday. And so I'm going to go to the last school, which is a middle school, and I already see one student there anyway. And then I have another meeting for another student who may potentially be on my caseload, who that meeting's at that school. So I know that was probably dramatic, but I'm trying to give this to you in the best possible way that I can, / keeping confidentiality, of course. So that meeting will be the last meeting of the day. So as you can see, I have 4 meetings in one that I've been invited to, but I don't necessarily have to go to, and I'm not going to make all these meetings. So sometimes I just have to pick and choose, which is chaotic. The rest of the week is just as chaotic. I have like 8 meetings this week, which is insane because, as we all know, I don't schedule any meetings. So I just go to the meetings when I'm invited to them. But anyway, it looks like I need to clear up some space on this camera, and then I'll probably turn on the camera again when we're driving to work, perhaps. So let's just get to work. What's tragic is that I had to go through all of my batteries to find a battery that wasn't dead. So this one's fully charged and everything. So let's just hope that this gets us through the day. I guess in the event that it starts to act like it's about to go dead, I can start wrapping it up or switch to my phone. But anyway, sort of kind of unrelated to work, but not really. My coworker came to so my husband and I had a joint birthday party on Saturday that our family threw for us. And I've been going to, my coworker and I, one of us, we've been, let me try this again. I have a lot of coworkers, obviously, but there are 5 people who do the same job as me included. So 5 of us in total. And the one who lives closest to me, we are probably closest, and we go to lunch sometimes and all that, because everybody else lives, so we're spread across the whole district. And so we kind of work in the districts adjacent to where we live. It's a thing. It's strategic, and it's like this whole thing. But basically the 5 of us cover the whole district. I think there are 44 schools, maybe. I don't know. We just got a new one built. You know, every so often I feel like a new school is built. But there was one that was just built, which I have that school on my caseload. We're going there today, actually. And I think there's like 44. And so the 5 of us split all 44 schools. So you can do the math on the average amount of schools that each of us has on our caseloads, which most people are shocked and confused by. They're like, you have 8 schools or 9 or however many, you know, we have at the time. And we're like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, it's a lot, but you know, we manage. Probably why I'm on the brink of a mental breakdown regularly. But anyway, my coworker came to my party, and she's come to a party before. I've gone to a couple of her parties, and she gave us a gift card, which I thought was so sweet. I'm already frazzled. So here's what we're gonna do. The meeting that we have is at 9:30. School starts at 8, any minute now actually. And so I'm just gonna see students up until 9:30. I'm gonna attempt to see 3 based on my schedule. Each session being about 20 minutes, we have to account for the walk because we go meet in one of the buildings that's outside of the main school. There's a lot of like outdoor classrooms. I call them sheds or something, but they're really called mobiles. And so we're going to meet in there because that's the room that I use because there's so many of them. And anyway, I use a room out there, and so I'm accounting for 5-10 minutes extra time in between each session. It would sound lovely if I could kind of boom, 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 but I get called by principals and guidance counselors and teachers, and they want to chat, and so I just kind of leave some room in my schedule. But you know, in the grand scheme of things, it is very tight, and I have to be on to the next school at a certain time because I see my kids at certain times. I don't just see them at random times of the day. If I could, oh my gosh, that would make this job so much easier, but I'm not allowed to. I can't just go pulling them from honors math or algebra or geography, or I don't even know what kind of classes there are, but I can't just go pulling them at random times from any random class. It has to be during a specific time. So I do have to take that into consideration a lot of times, and that's how I base my schedule. And people don't know that because why would they? But that's how I structure my schedule. People don't know a lot about the job, but I try to inform them as much as I can. But that's like a huge whammy, is that I have to see them during certain times. Otherwise, if I could just bob and weave in and out of these schools whenever I felt like it, so long as I'm getting my sessions in, that would make life so much easier. I do have my lunch. Like I mentioned, our joint birthday party was Saturday. I have lost my voice. That's why I sound like this. It is the morning time, and my voice kind of sounds funny in the morning, but it sounds even more funny today because I also pretty much lost my voice on Saturday because we were at our house having a house party for 7 hours. So our house party lasted 7 hours. Normally lasts longer than that, if you can believe that. And then we went to the club where I was yelling and screaming there as well. So I don't really have a voice. Yesterday I lied in bed and recuperated. So I'm feeling really good this week, not gonna lie. I have my lunch because I'm eating leftovers, so that's cool. So I have some wings. It was a wings party, so we have a lot of wings left over. So I have like 5 wings, and then I have some chicken fried rice, and it's heavy on the chicken. Like there is more chicken than I feel anything else. Now I haven't been grocery shopping, and I don't have any fresh fruit or like drinks and stuff, so I wish that I had those items, but I don't. So I probably need to go to the grocery store or place an order. Obviously I don't actually go to the grocery store, I just place orders. But I wanted to talk a lot, I guess, today because I'm not sure how much talking we will be able to do today. Obviously I have a lot of meetings, so what I plan to share is just like how the meetings go, maybe share before the meeting happens, what the purpose of it is, and then maybe how the meeting went and what we accomplished or didn't accomplish in the meeting. And then I can also share some bits and bobs about what I am anticipating talking about in the sessions with my students, maybe even some of their goals. Just sharing whatever I can share without breaking confidentiality, which I have been pretty good at, so we'll be good there. But I'm just letting you know that you obviously won't see any students or anything like that because this is confidentiality that we are dealing with. So anyway, I'll show you the room that I work out of. There'll be 3 rooms, I guess, that I'll technically be working out of today, which are the 3 rooms that I technically work out of each Monday. But like I said, it's really just those 4, technically 5 meetings that are really like, normally I have this day planned the way that it is without any meetings at all. So do with that information what you will. I normally try to go to 3 schools on a Monday anyway, but I normally don't have 4/5 meetings that I've been invited to or plan to attend. So that's really, you know, these meetings can be 30 minutes, they can be an hour, hour and a half, you know, however long. So that's kind of what really should be interesting. But I actually have to prioritize meetings over seeing students. So if I don't get to see students, then it won't be due to my own negligence, because my calendar is set up such that I can make all this happen. Again, if teachers want to converse with me and this and that and the third, I can't tell everybody. You know, I can say a little bit of, can I come back, or can we reschedule, or whatever. But because I only go to most schools once per week, there's only so much rescheduling to be done. You know, I can't, you know what I'm saying? If somebody wants to talk to me at a school, I gotta go ahead and talk to them, because there's no real telling when I will be back. Anyway, we're making good time, so I love that for us. Perfect time. And I am backing into this spot, because backing into spots is life. But I ain't doing so hot. I ain't gonna lie to you. Yeah. Let's try this again. I normally back into spots flawlessly, but that ain't really working out that well this time. Alright, the reason for that is because this parking lot is crooked. Like, the spot is crooked. I don't know, it's a weird thing, but yeah, we'll blame the parking spot on my parking, obviously. Now, am I going to take these puffs out? I really need a new badge, because the one the district gave me has this green. The one the district gave me has this green, and I don't like it. It kind of matches this, but yeah, I'm not into green, so I'll go ahead and take these out. I cannot wear my hair really in. I should have slept like this. That would have done this job better, and had I slept like this, but you know, here we are. All right, so we're going to shake out our hair, and we're going to try to tame it a little bit. It definitely looks better and more stretched out, but I don't want it too tame. That's the whole purpose of me having natural hair. Like, I 100% want it to be big and flying from east to west. I just want it to be stretched out some. And this person's walking by staring, probably because I have a camera and I'm filming, and I don't know if it's a teacher or a parent or whomever, but they might have just picked up that I'm a vlogger. Anyway, let's go in here and get this day started. I will probably just go ahead and grab a kid, then go to our mobile, and then in between kids or something, or when I'm finished before the meeting, I'll share with you the mobile, which you've probably seen before in a previous video, but I'll show it to you again because you haven't seen it this school year, because we've been back in school since July, end of July, because we do year-round school now, and I don't think I've vlogged any social worker, counselor, school stuff since then, so you haven't seen it this year, so I'll show it to you for this year. So I'm at my next location. I'm over here with Twitter fingers because I'm emailing my supervisor. And so I put a subject title, and then I put, hello, I was wondering when would be a good time to discuss some of the continued struggles that I'm having with fill in the blank. I thought, we'll skip down to what I put, which is maybe we can discuss it before or after my individual meeting on Thursday. So each year we have to meet with our supervisor, which people always ask who supervises us, if we're the only clinicians within the district who work in a more clinical role, I guess. Some of the guidance counselors or school counselors are clinicians as well. So, but anyway, people always ask who supervises us, and currently, basically, a speech therapist or a speech language pathologist, who speech folks are also related service providers, so it kind of makes sense. They are supervising us as kind of a team of people, but I think we have one main contact. Anyway, each year we have to set goals in individual meetings, and so mine happens to be this upcoming week on Thursday, so I was wondering if maybe we can chat before or after that, because like I was mentioning, as it turns out, I'm not the only one having struggles, and so I'm trying to figure out how we can how we can figure out. We need to make something happen. So I'm here at the school. It's almost 10:40. That meeting that I was possibly going to attend is at 10:45. So I am going to, I think, go ahead and attend it, which would probably have me running into my next meeting. So I'll probably have to leave early or something. Then I also won't be able to eat lunch at a decent hour if I go to this meeting, because then I'm going to go to the next one, and then I have to leave and go to my next school and be there for the next meeting. So I basically don't really have any time to eat lunch. Really, there's not like a free 30 minutes even that I can consume my lunch unless I skip this meeting. But I think I'm going to try to make it. I don't know. I'm feeling like I need to be there, or I should be there. I don't need to, but I'm feeling like I should like check in and just see what's all happening with the student. I'll update you guys. I gotta go in here. So I am barely hanging on. As we know, I did two sessions. I saw 3 kids during 2 sessions and 1 meeting at the first school. Then I got here, and of course I technically had 2 meetings. So the kid who's not on my caseload, his meeting ended up taking about 2 hours. Yeah, 2 hours, which is an hour past the time that it was scheduled. So if that gives you any indication. But yeah, that meeting was 2 hours. So I actually ended up missing the 3rd meeting, which would have been the meeting for the kid who is on my caseload. But I had joined the meeting really quickly over Teams, and I told them what was what. But we had just met about a month ago or something to discuss a bunch of things. And so, you know, there wasn't anything real new that I was going to learn in that meeting necessarily. He only has 1 goal in 1 service. So, no, 1 goal in 2 services. So I didn't really feel the need to be there. So I also reiterated that in the email too, before she officially closes or finalizes the IEP. But yeah, that meeting was 2 hours. Again, that kid isn't on my caseload. I was going to start observing him and all of that in this school year, but then I think it was off to a rocky start. So his mom recommended home base. So now he is home base, and I could still serve him even though he's home base, but the student's not interested in it. And I mean, as much as the parents want to be able to tell the kids what to do, when it comes to counseling, that is absolutely one time where you can't just force something to happen. The kid, the client, the student, the adult, whoever it is, they have to be involved. Everybody knows this. If everybody went to counseling or therapy because other people wanted them to, the world would be a better place. If your mama would go to counseling or therapy, or your uncle, your aunt, your cousin, your sister, your husband, if everybody wanted to go to therapy and counseling just because other people wanted them to, it would be great. But there's really no point in adding services to counseling services to a kid's IEP or 504 if they're not going to participate, because then we'll be right back having another meeting to discuss whether we're going to try to do something different to keep the services or whether we're going to remove the services. And if they're going to refuse, there's no point. But I will say I typically like to do some trial sessions with kids before we officially meet, but it's a little tricky. Everything's tricky with him because he's not actually on campus. So it's a little tricky in that I wasn't able to do my normal process, but I was willing to skip about every step to go ahead and add the services, because there's a protocol and there are some steps, and sometimes I can just skip the steps because there's already enough data and information that suggests a severe social and emotional delay. So all I have to do is really ask the parents and the kids if they're, and the student, the potential student, if they're interested, and then we can go ahead and get started. It just kind of depends. It's case by case for sure. But I don't know where I'm going. Where am I going? I think I'm going this way. Okay, so it's 12:38. I just left that meeting about 12:35, if that. And now I'm on my way to my third school. I feel like I picked you guys on a chaotic day to do this. But yeah, I was looking at my calendar and I had Day in the Life of a Social Worker scheduled for Wednesday. So here we are. But I'm headed to another school. The meeting's at 12:45. But here's the thing. I haven't eaten lunch. And at this meeting, I will have enough time, after this meeting, I will have enough time to either see the student who's there, or I will have to skip her and go to my next school because I have another student who I typically see, and I have another meeting. That's my last meeting. And I'm not going to be able to see both of them and attend both of their meetings. It just so happens that they both have meetings on the day that I see them in the afternoon. Like, it's perfectly lined up for when I see them. It's actually insane. But I'm not going to be able to see them both. Actually, I lied. At the next school, that's a different student. That's not his meeting. That's a different student. So basically, I'm only going to be able to see 2 more kids before school lets out. So I'm going to try to see this student. But if I cannot see her after her meeting, I was going to try for before, but as you can see, I have 5 minutes before the meeting starts. I was going to try for before originally, but if I can't see her after, I think I may just skip seeing her and just go on to my next meeting. And as you can see, I'm not arriving to these meetings early or anything like that. In fact, I cut out of that meeting, like, I signed, we had all signed. And so I cut out like a little bit before, like it wasn't officially wrapped up, but I got permission to go or whatever. So it's not like I have a lot of time in between these meetings. I'm not arriving with 15 minutes to spare, 20 minutes to spare. You know, I'm going to this next meeting and I'm going to pull up probably at exactly 12:45 or a little bit after, because meetings rarely start on time, right on time. They're at least 5 to 10 minutes late, if not like 15. So I have a little wiggle room, but yeah, I'm not arriving to this next stop with ample time. So I'm trying to figure out, am I going to eat in the meeting? Like, I have to eat. So am I going to eat in the meeting, which I've never done because that's a little weird, or am I going to try to eat after? But my next meeting after this one is at 2:15. But this meeting is, I think, scheduled for 30 minutes. So I think scheduled from 12:45 to 1:15. But there's no guarantee that it's only going to be a 30-minute meeting, because we're having the meeting to review her behavior intervention plan, because she's already gotten a number of write-ups already this school year. And by a number, I mean like 6 or something. So I'm not thinking this meeting is going to take 30 minutes. And I'm thinking it's going to take longer. But even if it does end on time, I still technically only have time to see 2 students. So it makes sense to see the other student, since that school is far away and he's my only student there. And then it makes sense to come back to see this student either probably Wednesday or Thursday, because it's kind of close by to my other schools, sort of. It's closer than the other school. The other school that I'm going to at the end of the day, that is the furthest school that I have, I would say. I would say it takes me the longest to get to that school. So I try to strategize. I don't know. Today's an interesting day because there's so many students. I could also not go back and see her, but I don't believe in doing that. I could also just say I miss seeing her because of meetings, but I don't really do that. I normally just go see my kid, the kid that I may miss or something. I just go at a later day, or if I'm off work, which I rarely take off work, but if I did, I would just still see my student. I wouldn't just be like, too bad, couldn't see them on my regular day because I took off. I would see them before I took off, or see them a little longer. You know, I just try to make sure my kids are all getting the services that I have agreed to give to them, first of all, and that they deserve. So I don't try to short any of them, but that's just me. It's 12:43 now. I'm turning onto the street where the school is, and we're gonna go in and we're gonna go straight to this meeting. And I'll probably be parked by, like, I need to eat though, because I just thought about something. I've had my lunch sitting out, not at the first school, it was in the refrigerator, but at this next meeting, because I just assumed it wouldn't be that long, I had it sitting out, and so I need to eat it. You know, I can't be taking it out of the refrigerator and putting it back in. So, like, in theory, I really need to go in here, heat up my food, and just start trying to work on eating it, even if it means I'm eating in the meeting. I don't know what the remedy is, because when I leave here, like if I actually take a lunch break, which I'm not on track to be able to do because it's almost 1 o'clock and I still have stuff to do. So even if I try to eat after the meeting, I feel like that's going to be late. I don't know if this meeting is really going to end at 1:15 or if it's going to end at 1:45 or 2 o'clock. And who eats lunch at 2 o'clock? And even then, I have my next meeting. I'm technically supposed to see a kid before my next meeting at 2:15. So even then, I technically have another kid to see at 2:15. I don't think people take another meeting to attend at 2:15. I don't think people take any of this into consideration. But yeah, the only way to take a proper lunch is basically for today would have been to cut out of that meeting that I was just in, or to cut out on this meeting. And I'm like, well, I guess I'll just sit in there and eat. I've never eaten in a meeting because I normally don't have to. So this isn't every day. Make no mistake, every day isn't chaotic like this. But it's 12:45. I'm here now. Yeah, I'm just gonna go in and hope that, because sometimes the parents are a little late, so that buys me like a good 5-10 minutes. So I'm just gonna go in and fix my plate. Hello, the time is 1:51. I just left out of that school at probably 1:50, so it took me like a minute to get to my car. I'm very proficient, I think is the word, with my time. Anyway, I just attended the BIP review, so that student has a behavior intervention plan, much like most of my other kids, and we were reviewing the plan to try to figure out any new strategies that we can put in place to help her, because she's receiving literally all the services at school that she can or that she qualifies for. And so what the principal is explaining to mom is that we're going to continue to implement the strategies and track data over the next month, 4 to 6 weeks, and then if there are no improvements by then, in the meantime, they're also going to talk to like district level staff members who aren't at that school, but district level staff, about different options and such. And essentially, if things aren't improving, then we may have to consider a change of placement into a school, or so to a different school that may better accommodate her needs based on the services that they have there, because different schools have like different classes and different services and all of that stuff. And or maybe she might have to go down to an abbreviated day. So that's kind of like what we talked about. But yeah, I've definitely noticed an increase in opposition, defiance, and everything else because it's been a struggle. But 1:52 now, I'm heading to my next school. Literally, it probably will take me like, to actually get there and get parked inside of the building, probably 5 minutes. It'll probably take me like 3 minutes to turn onto the road where the school is. And this is a brand new school that just opened. It was just built like this year, and it was just opened up this school year. So this is my brand new school. I have one kid there with potentially 2 kids pending, so I may have 2 more kids added to my caseload. So I'm going here, and I don't think I'm going to make it to see this kid. I have one student here now, and I have a meeting at 2:15. So like I said, by the time I get there and settled, it'll be 2 o'clock. So I could potentially see the kid for like 15 minutes or like 10 minutes. I try to be at meetings on time, at least 5 to 10 minutes ahead of time, because I feel like that's common courtesy to be in position, not like coming in all super late. So that's the thing that I try to do. Today is a different set of rules. Obviously, I'm doing the best that I can. There is the program specialist who is coming to this meeting. All right, so since she's here, I guess I'll just go ahead and go to the meeting. You know, people are already here and gathered from other sites and stuff, so I guess I'll just go straight to the meeting, and I'm gonna miss seeing him anyway, so I'll just see him either later this week or for extra time next week. But I'm gonna go to this meeting, which is my final meeting of the day. It's a reevaluation review, and kids have to be reevaluated every 3 years, and so he's up for reeval, which means that the school psychologist will look at all of his information. Okay, what is happening? The school psychologist will look at all of his information and review it to see if we need any further information to support special ed services. Typically, we really don't, but if we do, then they'll go ahead and do some assessments and all of that kind of stuff. So anyway, I'm gonna go in here, go to this meeting, and I will check in with you guys at the end of the day. I was thinking of actually vlogging a little tomorrow since it won't be as chaotic, but then I was thinking tomorrow would be kind of a boring day to vlog because I only have to, well, not only, but I'm going to 2 schools to see 6 kids, and so that might not be as exciting, but I might throw some clips in. But either way, I'm gonna go in here to this meeting and I will check in with you guys when it's over. I am stuck in Carline. Well, I was stuck in Carline. I'm not now, but I just wanted to show you how pretty it is over here. But we'll check in when I get home because I don't feel like driving and talking. I'm home now, and I did not get to see that student that I was gonna see because I didn't have time. So I went in and went directly to the meeting. And so in that meeting, we discussed the potential for counseling services, and we were kind of just doing a reeval first of all, but then also we had to do a special review because we had a meeting some weeks ago regarding, I think, a change of placement. I think the student went to an abbreviated day, so we had to do a special review to kind of talk about how that's going and figure out if we were going to make any changes. And so I was sharing that because he has made a lot of improvements, we will just wait to see in his next special review, which will happen in about 4 to 6 weeks, to see how he's doing then. Because essentially, if before we officially add counseling to a student's plan, if we can put some behavior modification strategies and other types of interventions and strategies in place to help them, then they never have to get to counseling, which is ideal. And the fact of the matter is, even if they never get to counseling, they still have to have interventions and strategies in place to help them be successful. Because unfortunately, counseling, therapy, none of that is like a magic fix. It does help a lot, but when it comes to kids, you definitely have to have all hands on deck and other adults providing behavior modification strategies and interventions as well. So anyway, that's what happened there. So I didn't add services or remove services or anything. I was just kind of there to get an update and as a consult. So as of right now, I'm about to go in the house. It's starting raining, which might be my sign to not exercise today. So typically I would exercise, I would film a video, but I vlogged today, which I never really do. So I don't have to vlog because I have this video for Wednesday, but normally I would come home and film. So I don't have to do that. It's raining. I was thinking of taking my dog for a walk because it was, well, walking for myself too, because it was nice and shady and cloudy, but now it's starting to rain. So I think I'm in for the day. I could go work out, but I don't think that's gonna be it for me. I'll work out tomorrow and all that. So anyway, I'm gonna go in here, and that was the end of my day. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like, subscribe if you're new and if you're liking what you're seeing, and I will catch you guys right back here in a few days in a brand new video. Bye guys.